You ever had a stranger strut right into your backyard, stare you down in your own pool, and tell you to leave because they think you don't belong there? Yeah, that actually happened to me. And the look on her face when she realized just how wrong she was, let's just say it's something I'll remember for the rest of my life. It was one of those blazing hot Saturdays when the air feels like soup and even the trees look tired. I'd spent the entire morning running a workshop at my nursery. Serenescapes, 12 acres of green life that I built from nothing over 15 years of blood, sweat, and overdrafted bank accounts. By 6 in the evening, the staff had gone home, customers gone, the sun still hanging low like a lazy orange ball. I kicked off my shoes, tossed my shirt on a chair, and dove into the pool behind my house. My house sits at the very back of the property, tucked behind walls of bamboo and hydrangeas far from the nursery paths. It's my little piece of peace, the one place where I don't have to think about payroll or invoices or the drought-resistant seminar I just finished. For 5 perfect minutes, I just floated there. The water was cold, silent, like the world forgot to bother me. Then I heard voices. Faint at first, then sharper, closer. Women's voices. I frowned, wiped the water from my eyes, and looked up. 2 silhouettes rounded the hedge. 2 total strangers standing there like they owned the place. One was tall, with platinum highlights that glinted under the sun, sunglasses big enough to hide half her face, arms crossed tight. The other a bit shorter, in a wrinkled t-shirt, clutching a water bottle like she wanted to disappear. The tall one spoke first. "Excuse me, what do you think you're doing in there?" I blinked. Swimming?" She tilted her head, her tone sharp enough to cut glass. "This pool is for residents or guests of Willow Springs. Staff are not permitted to use these amenities." For a second I thought it was a prank. I actually laughed. "Ma'am, this is my property." She rolled her eyes so hard I thought she'd strained something. "Exactly. Private property for residents, not the help." That word hit me like a slap. The help. I stood there, water dripping, trying to keep my cool. "There's been a misunderstanding. This is my private residence. The pool belongs to me." Her lips twisted into a smirk. "Don't be ridiculous. Our realtor gave us a tour yesterday. She said all of these amenities were for homeowners. We paid a premium for access." And that's when it clicked. The developer next door, the one who'd been trying to buy my land for years, must have spun some fairy tale to sell more homes. I sighed. "Your realtor lied to you. Serenescapes is a private business. The pool's part of my home, not open to the public." She actually laughed. "Your home? Please, you expect me to believe a gardener lives here?" Her tone dripped with disgust. "You look like you just finished mowing the lawn." "I did," I said. "I work here. I also own it." "Prove it," she snapped, crossing her arms. "Fine." I climbed out, grabbed my wallet from the chair, and showed her my driver's license. "See this address? Matches the property. You want business cards? Family photos. I can take you to the main house if you like." Her friend Ashley, I'd later learn, whispered Victoria maybe we should just go. But Victoria wasn't having it. "There's no way someone like you owns this. My husband and I paid nearly $1 million for our home specifically because of these amenities. I'm calling security." "There is no security," I said, getting tired of the game. "Except the cameras on my property, which are recording you trespassing. You might want to rethink that call." Her phone froze midair. Ashley tugged her arm. "We're leaving. Now." She actually apologized as they backed away, muttering, "I'm so sorry." Victoria glared over her shoulder and hissed, "I want to speak to your supervisor." I grinned. "I don't have a supervisor. I'm the boss." And with that, she stormed off, practically dragged by her friend. I wish I could say I laughed it off. But that night, lying in bed, I couldn't shake it. Her tone, her disbelief, that automatic assumption that because I had dirt under my nails, I couldn't possibly be the owner. I'd spent 15 years building this place, yet one arrogant woman could make me feel small in my own backyard. By morning, my frustration had hardened into resolve. I called my lawyer. Draft a cease and desist. Make it clear that Serenescapes and my home are not part of Willow Springs amenities. Then I called my landscaping crew. I want more signs, big ones. Private property. No trespassing. Every 50 feet. Finally, I called the HOA office. The manager, Russell, sounded genuinely shocked. "Oh my God, Ethan, we had no idea the developer was advertising your land like that. I'll fix this immediately." He promised to send an official notice to every resident. For a moment I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong. 2 days later I was working in the display garden when I saw her again. Victoria, walking through the nursery like she owned the place, heels clicking on the gravel. My general manager intercepted her before I could even react. "Can I help you, ma'am? I'm looking for the owner," she snapped. "I received a notice about some supposed misunderstanding. I want to speak to whoever complained." My manager stayed calm. "If you'd like to schedule a meeting, we can." "This is unacceptable," Victoria cut in. "I bought here for these amenities. First I'm treated like a criminal, now I can't even get a meeting." Customers nearby began to stare. My manager stayed professional, offering to take her message, but Victoria just threw her business card onto the counter and stormed off. Turns out she was a real estate agent herself. Maybe that's why admitting she was wrong burned so bad. I watched her leave on the cameras and just sat there stunned. Part of me started to doubt myself again. Maybe I was overreacting. Maybe I could have just laughed it off. I mean, people make mistakes, right? But then I remembered the way she said the help, the way she looked at me like I didn't belong in my own skin. That wasn't a mistake. That was arrogance, plain and simple. So I dug deeper. I found out that the Willow Springs developer had indeed used photos of my property, the pool, the garden, even my house in their sales brochures. My private home was being sold as a shared amenity. That was the final straw. I handed everything to my lawyer. He didn't even hesitate. Within 24 hours, an official legal notice was delivered to the developer and the HOA. A day later, Russell called back, voice uneasy. "Ethan, we sent the correction to all residents. The developer's in serious trouble. They shouldn't have done that." Good. I didn't want revenge, I just wanted peace. For the next week, things were quiet. No trespassers, no entitled voices echoing across my hedges. I thought maybe finally I could just focus on my plants again. Then fate handed me one last scene. It was a Friday evening at the local restaurant downtown. I walked in, grabbed a seat at the bar, and there she was, Victoria, sitting across the room with Ashley. Ashley spotted me first, gave a small, polite smile. Victoria froze. Our eyes met for half a second. She looked away, face flushed. Word around town was the HOA had reprimanded her after residents complained about her incident at the nursery. Some even joked she should apologize in the next newsletter. I didn't say a word. Didn't need to. Ashley whispered something to her, probably an apology I'd never hear. Victoria just sat there pushing her salad around, her confidence gone. And in that silence I realized something. Sometimes justice doesn't arrive with sirens or courtroom speeches. Sometimes it's quiet, arriving in the form of a red-faced Karen who finally realizes the world doesn't revolve around her. That night I left without finishing my drink. I walked out under the streetlights, hands still smelling faintly of earth and rosemary, and for the first time in weeks I felt calm, because the truth is, dignity doesn't need to shout. It just stands its ground and lets the noise burn itself out. And that's exactly what I did. Lesson learned. Never let anyone decide what you're worth based on the dirt under your nails.